Ever since my childhood, I had been captivated by supernatural phenomena like ghosts and the unknown. However, my parents disapproved of such interests, which made it challenging for me to explore my curiosity. It was only when I moved into the high school dormitory, away from my parents' watchful eyes, that I had a greater opportunity to delve into the mysterious. My school provided a hostel for students who lived far away. These dormitory rooms accommodated for students of the same grade. My journey into the supernatural began with a game of janong. For those unfamiliar, janong is a tool for communicating with invisible beings. It's constructed from sticks, cloth, and coconut shells arranged to resemble human figures. Beneath these figures are attached writing implements, like pen or pencil. It operates in a manner similar to the Ouija board, but involves the spirits writing their responses on paper during the ritual. To avoid alarming my roommate, I secretly crafted a janong and waited for the ideal moment to begin the ritual. Finally, the school holidays arrived, providing the perfect opportunity. I chose a late hour when the dormitory was unusually quiet, and my roommates had all gone home. I initiated the ritual, affixing pencils as writing instruments beneath the janong and holding it in my hands while reciting the ritual incantations. After several recitations yielded no response, doubt crept in. Is this ritual a load of crap? I wondered, and recited the spell once more. To my astonishment, the janong began to vibrate, signaling a presence. Summoning the courage, I asked, "What is your name?" The janong moved of its own accord, inscribing a name onto the paper in remarkably neat handwriting. Fear gripped me as I realized I was communicating with a supernatural entity. I asked, "Where are you from?" It named one famous mountain far removed from my school's location. Overwhelmed by fear, I flung the janong onto my bed, perched atop the stacked mattresses, and tried to sleep on my friend's bed beneath my bed, consumed by dread. The following morning, I awoke to a commotion coming from my bed. To my horror, I witnessed the mattress move on its own, more like vibrating movements. Glancing at my bed, I saw the janong doll I had tossed the previous night now vibrating autonomously. It dawned on me that I had neglected to perform the closing ritual after our communication last night. Panic set in as I hurriedly retrieved the doll, clutched it tightly, and began reciting the reverse incantations to send the spirit away. Despite my repeated efforts, the doll continued to vibrate, intensifying my anxiety. I began to wonder if the entity was angered by my summoning and subsequent neglect. Desperate for guidance, I sought the counsel of a spiritual expert, who happened to be my uncle. While not a shaman, he possessed profound knowledge of the mystical realm. I rushed home with the still vibrating doll in tow. During my visit, my uncle closed his eyes and touched the doll. After a moment of reflection, offered an explanation. The entity I had summoned had a request. To release it from the doll's confines, I needed to locate a rare type of small golden banana or return the doll to the entity's place of origin. The latter option involved a journey hundreds of kilometers from my current location. After careful consideration, I expressed my gratitude to my uncle and embarked on journey to my home. Along the way, I passed a sizable river. Without hesitation, I cast the troublesome doll into the river, yelling, "Get yourself home!" and I walk away. Fortunately, nothing out of the ordinary occurred after I made that decision. Until a day later, while I was at home, a Wayang performance event took place in my hometown. The venue was quite far away, but still reachable on foot. My family and I attended the event. Typically, these performances start at sunset and conclude between midnight and the early hours of the morning, around 2 or 3 a.m. I had initially planned to watch the show until midnight, but unfortunately, it ended later than expected. I suggested to my friend that we should head home because he seemed sleepy. However, my friend warned me that leaving a Wayang show before it finishes may result in being disturbed. Despite being skeptical, I wasn't concerned about such superstitions. In fact, I was excited at the prospect of encountering supernatural beings on our way back home. My friend, however, was frightened by my response and decided to accompany me, albeit reluctantly, as he was also eager to leave. Halfway through our journey, we traversed a wide path with no lighting except for the moonlight. We had no flashlights or cell phones to guide us until we reached a T-junction. As we turned a corner and walked a few meters, we suddenly heard the sound of heavy breathing amidst the warm night breeze. We cautiously looked behind us only to spot large legs covered in thick black hair. Upon looking up, we were startled to see a black creature with bushy hair, glowing red eyes, and menacing fangs. We screamed in terror and sprinted as fast as we could towards our house, feeling the ground tremble with each step behind us. We were certain that whatever it was chasing us. Upon reaching home, the pounding footsteps ceased, but my friend was too frightened to return to his house and chose to stay with me. According to my friend, the disturbance caused by leaving a Wayang Golek show manifests when you are at home, not while on your way back. He also mentioned that the disturbance isn't severe. I couldn't help but wonder if this encounter was somehow connected to the Jelangkum ritual I had previously performed and discarded. Regarding the recent encounter, my curiosity towards invisible creatures still hasn't decreased. Now I plan to enter their world. I've extensively consulted with spiritual experts about the best and safest approach to this realm of invisible beings. One expert advised me on the safest method, being in a completely dark place with no light whatsoever, then reading certain mantras to gain entry into their world. Upon hearing this, I immediately resolved to proceed in that manner. I diligently memorized the prescribed readings until nightfall. Contemplating a place devoid of any light, I ascended to the attic of my house. As anticipated, the attic was pitch dark. After sealing off the entrance, I closed my eyes, sit in cross-legged position, and chanted the mantra. After 10 lengthy recitations, I observed a faint white light ahead, though I was certain my eyes remained shut. Gradually, it expanded, enveloping my sight, revealing a vast kingdom. In this kingdom stood a towering palace, gleaming in golden hues. Venturing towards the village below, I found the inhabitants, contrary to my expectations, resembling ordinary humans in stature and appearance, displaying friendliness and warmth upon my arrival. They graciously offered various valuable items, including gold, money, gems, and jewelry. However, I remembered the stipulations. I must not linger too long, or my soul becomes trapped in their world, as entering their realm involves the separation of my soul from my physical body. Moreover, taking items from them was forbidden, while asking a question was possible, but asking something like food or treasure they will demand in heavy price in return. After a brief exploration, I sensed it was time to return to my body. Reciting the mantra once more, I perceived my vision fading, the light diminishing until darkness prevailed. Realizing I had returned to the attic, I returned to my room, discovering that 6 hours had elapsed, though it felt like merely 30 minutes in their world. Another encounter occurred while I was tending to my family's farm at night. One day, I was so busy with various activities that I forgot to water my father's rice field. Realizing my mistake, I knew I had to go at night, better late than never. With my flashlight in hand, I made my way towards the rice field. Our field is adjacent to many of the fields, and I was aware that at the far end lay a cemetery, marked by a tall tree and a single light source in the middle. As I fetched water from the nearby river, I heard a woman's voice, a shrill, unsettling laugh emanating from the cemetery. Turning towards the source of the sound, I saw a figure draped in a white, tattered gown, with long hair billowing as it moved from tree to tree. The sight sent shivers down my spine. The figure came to a stop atop a tree and slowly turned towards me, a creepy smile on its face. Terrified, I ran as fast as I could without looking back, knowing that whatever it was following closely behind me.